Once upon a time, in a land far, far away in the east, lived a carpenter named Ali Baba. He lived a poor life with his wife. Ali Baba would go into the forest with his donkey to cut wood, and then sell these woods in town to earn his living. One day he went into the forest to cut wood. Suddenly he realized a group of horsemen coming towards him, and they did not look friendly.
They must be thieves. I must hide at once.
Ali Baba hid his donkey behind the bushes, and he climbed up a tree. The men came and stopped right under the tree. Ali Baba counted exactly 40 of them. The men took down some heavy bags from their horses. Ali Baba realized that these men were the thieves. The head of the thieves went towards a big rock and started to yell.
Open, sesame, open.
Suddenly, something very unexpected happened. The big rock slid open just like a gate, and a cave appeared. The thieves went in one by one, carrying the heavy bags. After the last one went in, the gate automatically closed. Ali Baba was speechless from what he saw. After a short while, the rock opened again, and the thieves came out. At last, their leader came out. He turned to the gate and said,
Close, sesame, close.
The big rock closed immediately, and the thieves jumped on their horses and rode off. Ali Baba came down from the tree and went straight to the big rock. He yelled out the words he memorized.
Open, sesame, open.
The gate opened with a loud noise. Ali Baba hesitantly went in. He was stunned with what he saw. Inside was full of gold, silver, valuable fabrics, diamonds, and treasure chests. He looked around, picked up 3 bags and left. He turned to the rock and repeated what he heard from the leader of thieves.
Close, sesame, close.
He put all the bags on his donkey and head home. When he came home, he showed the bags to his wife. She could not believe her eyes. She thought that Ali Baba stole them. Where did you find all this gold? Ali Baba explained to her all that had happened. That made her really happy, and they started to unpack the bags. Oh, let's see how much money we have.
No, let's dig a hole and bury the gold.
Why don't you go out and dig a hole, and I will ask your brother Kasim for a measuring cup. Ali Baba's brother Kasim was a rich merchant, but he was very greedy. He never helped out Ali Baba. So he warned his wife.
Don't you talk anything about the gold. No one must know about it.
His wife went to Kasim's house and asked him for a measuring cup. Knowing that they are very poor, Kasim asked right away.
What do you need the measuring cup for? You don't have any money.
His wife immediately made up a lie. Of course, Kasim did not really believe her. He secretly put a little honey underneath the cup and gave it to Ali Baba's wife. When his wife came back home, they started to measure the gold. And Ali Baba buried the gold he had counted in the hole. After they buried all the gold, his wife brought the measuring cup back. But she did not realize the gold that was stuck underneath the cup. When Kasim got the cup, he looked directly underneath. When he saw the gold, he was shocked.
I wonder where Ali Baba found this gold from.
Kasim could not sleep all night. When it was morning, he got up and went directly to Ali Baba's house, and he showed the gold that was stuck under the cup.
Ali Baba, I thought you were poor. Where did you find this gold? Tell me now.
Ali Baba told him everything so that he wouldn't tell anybody else about the gold.
If you don't show me where this cave is, I will tell the thieves what you have done. But Qasim...
Ali Baba knew that Kasim would do what he said. With no option, they went to the cave together.
The cave is right behind this rock. Now let's go away from here. The thieves might come any moment.
Ali Baba and Kasim went back home, but Kasim was still thinking about the cave. He immediately took 2 donkeys with him and went back to the cave. When he came in front of the cave, he repeated the words he learned from Ali Baba.
Open, sesame, open!
The big rock suddenly started to move and the gate to the cave opened. Kasim couldn't believe his eyes. He was speechless about the view inside. The sparkling gold mesmerized him. In a hurry, he started to fill the bags that he brought with as much as gold as he could. When he had no more room, he went back to the gate, but the gate was closed. And the bad thing was that he forgot the words to open the gate. So he started to make up words and tried to open it.
Open, door, open. Open, rack, open. Open, wait, open.
Whatever he said, the gate did not open. He started to panic. He looked for another gate, but he could not find one. After a short while, the thieves came back to their cave. When they saw Kasim's donkeys, they got suspicious and drew their swords.
Open, sesame, open.
When the gate opened, the thieves caught Kasim right away and punished him right there and then.
So this was the thief stealing our gold.
When it was night time and Kasim did not come back home, his wife got really worried. She ran to Ali Baba's house and asked for help. Ali Baba was also worried about what had happened to Kasim. So she went to the cave and saw the donkey standing right in front of the gates. That's when he knew that his brother was inside and killed by the thieves. He went to his wife and told her everything. They decided not to tell anyone about this. After a while, Ali Baba and his wife started to live in Kasim's house. They started to run his business and helped it grow into a bigger business. They got wealthier and wealthier. During this time, the leader of the thieves realized that the gold in the cave was decreasing every day. So he ordered one of the thieves to see if anything suspicious was happening.
Go into town and have a look around for someone who recently got rich and started to spend a lot of money.
When the thief was walking around the marketplace, he saw Ali Baba shopping with gold in his hands. So he followed him home. When Ali Baba went in the house, the thief marked his door. When it got dark, Kasim's wife went out to put fresh water for the animals, and when she did, she saw the markings on the door. She realized that it wasn't for a good cause. So she took a bucket of paint and marked all the doors in the neighborhood. Soon it was morning, and the 40 thieves came to find Ali Baba's house. When they saw that all the doors were marked the same, they had no choice to go back. But their leader was determined to find him. He disguised himself and started to walk around the marketplace. He finally found Ali Baba and followed him home. Knocked on the door, Ali Baba answered.
I came from a long way. I brought jugs full of olive oil. I heard that you are the richest merchant in the area. Maybe you would like to buy them.
Ali Baba invited the leader thief home for dinner that night, thinking that he also was a merchant. The thief carried 40 jugs of olive oil to Ali Baba's house, and Ali Baba made his servants prepare a nice dinner table. Ali Baba wanted to host him that night in his home. Of course, he accepted the offer. When Ali Baba and the thieves were dining at the table, Qasim's wise wife went to look into the olive oil jugs. Suddenly, she heard some noises.
Should we get out? No, it's not time yet.
When she found out that there were thieves inside the jugs instead of olive oil, she knew that this was a setup. She immediately went to the kitchen and boiled some oil. Then she came back and poured the boiling oil in each and every one of the jugs. Of course, the thieves silently got fried. At midnight, when everyone was asleep, their leader came next to the jugs.
You can get out now.
When there was no response, he asked again.
Are you guys sleeping?
When he asked again, he could not get any response. He opened one of the jugs. He was terrified with what he saw, and knowing that he was also going to get caught, he ran away and never came back. In the morning, Qasim's wife told Ali Baba all that had happened. Now they knew that they didn't need to worry about the thieves anymore. And so Ali Baba and his family lived a happy and rich life.
Farmer Gopi went to his field unhappily that day. Because even though it was summer, his field was still not yielding any crops.
Oh, my field has not yielded any crops today either. What am I going to do now? If I can't deliver crops to the kingdom, I'm gonna be in trouble.
One day, just as Gopi was about to give up digging on his barren fields, his shovel hit a hard object.
Huh? What's that?
As he continued digging, he realized that it was a pot.
What's a pot doing in my field? And it's empty inside.
Gopi was very unhappy that he had spent so much effort with no reward. He dropped his hoe in the pot and lay under a tree to rest. After a while, when he wanted to take his hoe to return home, he realized that there were 100 more hoes in the pot.
What? How can this happen? I only had one hoe.
Gopi emptied the pot full of hoe, and this time put his shovel in it. But what is that? Another 100 shovels immediately appeared in the pot.
Or is it this pot? A magic pot? Who would have thought?
Gopi was both amazed and thrilled. He brought the pot straight back to his house. He excitedly tried a chicken egg in the pot, and left it in the pot. Soon, the pot was overflowing with eggs.
I can't believe my eyes.
Then he put his apple and bread in the pot. The magic pot gave Gopi hundreds of apples and bread.
Now I don't have to deal with this barren field. I can sell these multiplied products in the kingdom market.
Every day, Gopi took the pot's multiplied goods to the kingdom and tried a new product every day. One day clothes, the next day vegetables, and another day beans. Whatever he put in the magic pot, it multiplied. Other sellers were jealous of his success and complained about Gopi to a soldier of the king. The next day, the soldiers secretly followed Gopi. Gopi took the magic pot that morning and put a chick in the pot to sell at the kingdom market. A little later, hundreds of chicks came out of the pot. The soldier couldn't believe his eyes. With hundreds of chicks running around Gopi's house, one accidentally fell into the pot, producing another 100 chicks. Gopi even had a chick on his head, under his chair, and in his dinner plate. The soldier immediately went and told the king what he had seen. The king ordered that Gopi and his magic pot be brought to him immediately. Gopi went before the king, and the king confiscated the pot from him for the kingdom's treasure. Gopi was very upset.
Let me take a closer look at this magic pot that will enrich my wealth.
The king approached the magic pot and bent down into it.
My king, be careful, please.
But just then, the king slipped. He could not keep his balance and fell right into the pot.
No, the king has fallen into the cauldron. Oh!
In just a few minutes, 100 more of the king had formed in the hall. The soldiers were confused about who to obey. Kings were fighting each other for the throne, each claiming to be the real king.
I am the real king. No, it's me, the real king. No, I am the real king. Shut up. I am the king.
When Gopi realized how dangerous the magic pot could be, he sneaked out of the palace during the confusion and took his pot with him. He went straight to a cliff and threw the magic pot off the cliff. The pot disintegrated into pieces and disappeared. From that day on, Gopi's field began to grow crops once again, and Gopi understood that the land became fertile not by magic, but by labor, and he lived in wealth forever.
Once upon a time, on the shore of the deep blue sea, a fisherman and his wife were living in a tiny cottage. The fisherman used to go to the seaside every day and fish with his fishing rod. He was quite content to live like this, but his wife was not as happy as he was. Ugh, look at that disgusting cottage, moldy and damp everywhere. I am tired of cleaning every day. The fisherman was very much in love with his wife, but no matter what he did, he could not make her happy. If he brings her fish, she wants crab. If he picks apples, she craves pears. One day, the fisherman went fishing as usual. He swung his fishing rod into the water and started to wait. After a few hours, the tip of his fishing rod finally trembled.
Oh, a fish hit the hook. But, ouch! This must be a stubborn, big fish!
The fisherman pulled, and was surprised to finally see the flounder on the tip of his fishing rod. Because this fish was golden and shining brightly.
You finally managed to catch me, didn't you, fisherman?
Huh? Did you just talk to me? Or am I going crazy?
You heard right, fisherman. But listen, I'm not like the other fishes. I'm actually a prince under a spell.
I can't believe this.
Free me, fisherman. Please don't kill me. Even make a wish, and I'll make it come true because you saved me.
No need. I've never seen a talking fish before. Of course I will free you. Come on, go back to the seas.
The fisherman returned home with great excitement. Why did you come back early? Didn't you catch fish? Couldn't you at least bring some fruit?
No, darling. I caught a fish today, but that fish was talking. He told me he was actually a prince.
What? And what happened then?
Well, then he asked me to make a wish. But that moment I was shocked and I immediately let him back into the water.
So you found a magic fish and left it back in the water without asking for anything? Huh! I cannot believe you! You saved his life. You could make a wish in return, like a house. Go catch that fish again and ask for a new home to make me happy. The fisherman could not refuse his wife's request and went back to the seaside.
Flounder, flounder, fish prince, I just wanna make a wish. Come on, make true this wish. Tick tock, tick tock.
The fish just came out of the water.
What do you want, fisherman? Tell me.
My wife is not happy at all. Tired of living in a cottage. She wants a nice house.
So go home, fisherman. She has a new home now.
The fisherman ran home and saw his wife standing in front of a perfect house. The inside of the house was full of brand new furniture and everywhere was immaculate. Oh, husband, we will no longer live in a cottage, but in a wonderful house, and everything is new and clean.
Yes, my wife. Now we can live happily ever after in this house, right?
We can never know that, my darling. That night, the fisherman's wife could not sleep. As soon as the morning came, she made another request from her husband at the breakfast table. Husband, this house seems too small for us. I want a bigger house, even a palace.
What?
I want to be a queen, don't you understand? Go and tell that to the fish prince. The fisherman went to the seaside with thoughts in his head.
Flounder, flounder, fish prince, I just wanna make a wish. Come on, make true this wish. Tick tock, tick tock. My wife is not happy at all.
Why, fisherman?
She wants to have a palace.
So go home, fisherman. Your wife now lives in a palace.
When the fisherman returned, he saw that there was now a huge palace where his house was, and his wife was sitting on a huge throne in the palace hall.
My darling, you really have become a queen.
Yes.
So, are you happy now?
No, I actually want to be the empress, not the queen.
What? A fish can't make you an empress. Do you understand?
Let the fish prince decide that. Come on, move. Go ask the fish to make me the empress. The poor fisherman went to the seaside sadly to make his wife happy.
Flounder, flounder, fish prince, I just wanna make a wish. Come on, make true this wish. Tick tock, tick tock. My wife is still not happy.
Well, is that so? So what does she want this time?
She wants to be an empress.
So go home, fisherman. Your wife is now an empress.
When the fisherman came running back, he could not believe his eyes. The palace was now much larger than before. Moreover, there were guards at the door. His wife, on the other hand, was now sitting on a more glorious throne as an empress.
Oh, my darling! You really have become an empress!
Yes!
So, are you happy now?
I don't know. We'll talk about it later. I'm so tired today, we better sleep now. The fisherman and his wife lay on the bed to sleep. The fisherman fell asleep, praying that his wife would not want anything more from him. However, his wife did not sleep again. She had been thinking all night about what more she could want from that magic fish. A week has passed. The woman called her husband before her and made a request. Husband, time keeps running out. I want to control time. I want to live above the clouds and rule the sun and the moon.
What are you saying, wife? Why do you want such a thing? Why is this abundance, wealth, and power not enough?
If you want me to be happy, go to that fish prince now and tell him my wish.
I can't do this, my darling. Please stop now.
Oh, but don't you want me to be happy? The fisherman risked everything to make his wife happy and went to the seaside again.
Flounder, flounder, fish prince, I just wanna make a wish. Come on, make true this wish. Tick tock, tick tock. My wife is still not happy. I'm sorry about that, fisherman. What does she want this time? My wife wants to control time. She wants to rule the sun and the moon in a palace above the clouds.
All right, fisherman, go home. Your wife now has what she wants.
When the fisherman came running back, neither his wife nor the palace were there. When he looked up, he saw that the clouds were far away from him.
Oh, my wife! Where are you? You are far from me now!
The fisherman hurried back to the seashore and called the fish prince.
Flounder, flounder, fish prince, I just wanna make a wish. Come on, make true this wish. Tick tock, tick tock. What happened to my wife?
I just fulfilled her wish. She gave up everything to rule time above the clouds, so neither you can see her, nor can she see you.
Oh, fish prince, I saved your life, but I never asked you for a wish myself. I always wanted something for my wife. Please help me. Give me back my wife.
You're right, fisherman. Tell me, what is your wish?
May my wife always be with me and very happy. This is my wish.
Well, fisherman, go home. Your wife has everything to be happy.
The fisherman ran home with great excitement. He was very surprised to see this new situation. His wife was waiting for him in front of the cottage, just like in the old days. Oh, my husband! I couldn't realize the worth of what I had. I was actually very happy with you in this small and cute cottage.
Oh, my wife, I love you so much.
From that day on, the fisherman's wife understood that even the smallest things can bring happiness. Thus, they lived happily ever after in a clean house with delicious food every day.
The Envious Neighbor. Once upon a time, there was an old couple in a small village. They had no children, but they had a beloved and devoted dog named Max.
Max, Sit down. Give paw. Good boy. Good boy. Here you go.
Max loved them too. One day, while the old man was busy with his garden, he saw Max excitedly digging in the dirt. This made the old man very curious, so he started digging in the same spot with his shovel. The old man's wife heard Max's excited barking and came out to see what was going on. It didn't take long before the man's shovel hit something hard.
I think you found something, honey.
What the old man found was an old chest. Curiously, he opened the chest and saw that thousands of gold coins were shining brightly in it.
Ah, this must be a dream.
We're rich. I can't believe it.
All thanks to this smart dog. Come here, Max. Well done, boy.
However, the old couple did not realize that the young man, who was their next-door neighbor, saw everything that had happened.
A smart dog that finds a treasure. Let's see if you can find a chest full of gold for me, too.
At night, the envious neighbor sneaked in through the old couple's window.
Oop. Oh, they're sleeping.
The old couple was in a deep sleep. The neighbor used dog treats to get Max to follow him.
Gotcha.
And he took Max out of his house in the middle of the night and kidnapped him. The next day, when the old couple woke up, they could not see Max at home.
Max! Come here, boy. Oh, my baby, where are you?
As the old couple went out into the garden to look for Max, the envious neighbor saw the agitated couple.
Hi, neighbor. Is your dog missing?
Yes, neighbor. We looked everywhere, but we can't find Max. Did you see him?
Yes. He was running towards the city in the morning after a cat.
The old couple went to the city to look for their dog, but the envious neighbor had hidden the dog in his own house, and once the old couple was gone, he took the dog to his own garden.
Right this way to my garden.
Holding tight to the chain so that the dog could not escape.
Come on, clever dog. Dig until you find a treasure, otherwise you'll never see your owners again.
Max started sniffing sadly. After a while, he stopped and started barking persistently.
Aha, right here? Okay.
The neighbor thought the dog must have found something, so he started digging right away. And sure enough, he also found a huge treasure chest.
Here's a chest even bigger than my neighbor's. Good job, clever dog.
The neighbor took the chain off and left the dog back in the old couple's garden. When the old couple returned home sadly, their dear dog Max barked to greet them.
Max? Oh, here you are. We were so worried about you, Max.
In the evening of the same day, the envious neighbor came to the old couple's house with great greed.
I'm so glad you found your dog. I'm sure you must have been very tired looking for him. How about I take the dog for a walk today so you can rest?
How thoughtful of you, neighbor. Max is a very affectionate and friendly friend. Of course you can go with him for a stroll.
The envious neighbor called Max. Max took a few steps forward and started talking.
This man is bad. I will never go anywhere with him.
Seeing the dog talking like a human, the envious neighbor was stunned.
What? How can your dog talk?
The old couple did not hear Max's voice. but only heard his barking, so they thought the neighbor must have been teasing.
If by talking you mean barking, then yes, he spoke, but all dogs bark. Why are you surprised by this?
But he didn't bark. He spoke like a human. I swear to you.
Maybe it's you that needs some rest, my neighbor. Come by later when you've rested, and then you can walk Max.
The envious neighbor returned home in a daze. As soon as he woke up the next day, he went to the old couple's house again.
I came to apologize for yesterday. I'm better today. Where is Max?
Oh, I'm glad you're recovering, neighbor. Max! Come on, boy!
Max came running, and when he saw the neighbor who was cruel to him, he spoke again.
That envious bad neighbor, what are you doing here again?
The neighbor could not hide his surprise. He broke out in a cold sweat.
What? No, he spoke again. Your dog is speaking just like a human again.
However, the old couple heard Max just barking normally.
My neighbor, you might want to see a doctor.
You two are in on this. Witchcraft, wizardry, and your magic dog is making me look crazy. I know it.
Max is just a regular dog. My husband and I are not wizards or witches.
I know your magic dog found a chest full of gold in your garden.
But that was just luck, neighbor.
I know it wasn't just luck, and I'll prove it. And I'll do it in front of the village elder, so the whole village will see that you are wizards and you'll be banished from here.
As the envious neighbor was leaving the house, the old couple thought he was crazy. After a while, the envious neighbor came back to the old couple's house with the village elder and a few people with him.
Here are the wizards in our village, see? And this is the magic dog.
Dear elder, I think our neighbor is not well. He's talking like he's out of his mind. Sir, this couple has lived in our village a very long time. They are good-hearted. If you have proof that they are wizards, show it. Otherwise, don't waste our time.
The envious neighbor beckoned Max to provide evidence to the elder.
Tell me something now, magic dog. Tell me something.
Well, let me tell you, you are an envious, evil neighbor.
See, here's proof for you. A dog that talks like a human.
The elder and the villagers looked at each other in astonishment.
What are you talking about, neighbor?
I'm talking about the dog. He just spoke. He spoke like us. Didn't you hear him?
No, I don't think so. Sounds like any other dog. He just barked.
But how can that be? What about you guys? Didn't you hear him speak?
Villagers also said that the dog just barked.
He's a magic dog that finds treasure chests. You must believe me.
Dogs smell good and can find many things in the soil, mister. Yes, it was just a coincidence that he found a treasure chest for us. We were digging in our garden. See over there.
Oh no, it wasn't a coincidence.
So the envious neighbor told everyone how he had kidnapped the dog, had him dig his own garden, and the dog also found a treasure chest for him.
What? Did you kidnap Max?
The envious neighbor opened the treasure chest that the dog had found in front of everyone, and he saw that it was filled with sand instead of gold.
How can this be? This is impossible.
This is nothing but theft and slander. You are no longer our neighbor. Leave our village immediately.
The envious neighbor bowed his head and left the village in shame.
I know you are good people. Don't worry, our village will be a safer place now, especially for your dog, Max.
Thank you, dear elder.
After all that had happened, Max made everyone love him with joy and excitement.
Ah, how sweet are you? You
Good
little
for you,
dog.
good
You
boy,
little
good
thing.
boy.
Good for you.
From that day on, the old couple lived a peaceful life with their dear dog, Max.
I love you, dear family. What? Did you say something, my wife?
No, I thought you said something too.
The end.
In the Eastlands, far, far away, there was a poor but kind-hearted young boy named Aladdin. This young man would do anything to help his lovely mother. And in the magnificent palace of the country, the Sultan had a beautiful daughter. Her name was Jasmine. Jasmine was in abundance, but very lonely. So much so that her only friend in the palace was a tiny, colorful hummingbird named Wren. Sometimes Jasmine was covering her face with a veil and going to the market. Thus, she was walking among the people and forgetting her loneliness for a moment. One day, Aladdin set out to work with a shovel in his hand. On the way, he saw a man standing by the well.
Hey, boy! Can you help me? Yes, of course, sir. Whatever I can. Do you see this gold in my hand? If you do what I tell you, so much more can be yours.
Aladdin agreed to help the man.
I dropped something in the well. I'm going to swing a rope down, and I want you to pick it up and bring it back to me.
Aladdin looked into the well. It was a dark well with no bottom visible. Even though he was very afraid, he went down by holding on to the rope for the gold the man had promised. When he reached the bottom of the well, he took a match from his pocket and lit it. At that moment, he saw that the black well was shining with sparkling jewels.
Boy! There is an old lamp there! Just take it and come!
Aladdin found the old lamp the man was talking about, but he didn't understand why the man wanted to take this shabby lamp out of all the gold and jewelry. Then he grabbed onto the rope and barely started climbing up.
Let me hold the lamp so you can come out more easily.
As soon as Aladdin gave the lamp in his hand, the man let go of the rope in his hand.
Oh no!
Aladdin caught the end of the lamp in panic.
Let go of my lamp! Let go! No way! No! I can't let go! I'll fall!
While the man was trying to save his lamp, Aladdin and lamp together fell to the bottom of the well with a great noise.
No! My lamp! My lamp!
Although Aladdin tried to get out of the well when he regained consciousness, he could not succeed. He waited for days for someone to help him, but no one passed by. Aladdin was helpless. He lit a match and looked around in fear. Then he saw a ring on the ground. When he put the ring on his finger, the lights surrounded him.
The owner of the ring is my master. You have only 3 wishes. Say whatever you want from me.
I want to get out of this well now.
The giant fulfilled Aladdin's wish. Aladdin ran home with the lamp in his hand. Just then, he collided with Jasmine, who was wandering around the market. When Jasmine's veil was opened, Aladdin did not know what to say in the face of the beauty he saw.
Oh, excuse me. I'm in a hurry. I'm sorry.
Aladdin walked away without knowing who she was. But Jasmine, who was looking behind him, fell in love with Aladdin at first sight. Arriving at home out of breath, Aladdin told his mother everything that had happened. And his mother wanted to clean this useless lamp and sell it. But while she was wiping the top of the lamp, smoke suddenly covered everything, and a genie appeared out of the smoke.
I was in that lamp for so long. Since you saved me, ask whatever you want from me.
Aladdin and his mother looked at each other bewilderedly.
I want a wonderful table, flowing with milk and honey.
Suddenly, a perfect table with all kinds of food appeared in front of them. Within a few months, Aladdin and his mother became very rich, thanks to the genie. All this time, Aladdin's mind was on that beautiful girl he had collided with in the market. On the other hand, the Sultan learned that his daughter Jasmine was secretly going to the market and imprisoned her in her room. Jasmine, on the other hand, spent her days in the room dreaming of Aladdin. After a while, the Sultan learned of Aladdin's wealth. The Sultan summoned him to the palace to find out the reason for this wealth.
Your Majesty, your request is a command to me. I heard that you have a legendary wealth. I ask you for a magnificent palace and 40 soldiers with their hands full of gold. Let's see if you're as rich as they say.
While leaving the palace with thoughts, Aladdin met eyes with Jasmine and realized that this beautiful princess was the girl he had collided with in the market. He immediately went away to make a wish to the genie. Siren, it was him. He was the boy I met at the market. Jasmine ran and begged on bended knee. My Sultan, my father, I fell in love with this man. I want to marry him and live happily ever after.
Wait for a while. My wishes haven't been fulfilled yet.
Aladdin excitedly told the Sultan's wishes to the genie. The genie snapped his fingers, and a huge palace, 40 soldiers, and a chest of gold appeared in front of them.
Thank you so much! That way, maybe I can marry Jasmine.
The next day, Aladdin arrived at the palace with 40 soldiers behind him. When the Sultan saw the soldiers and the gifts in front of them, he was very impressed by this wealth, and he told Aladdin that he could marry his daughter. The next week, Aladdin and Jasmine got married with a magnificent wedding. One day, when Aladdin was not at home, a salesman came to the palace.
I pick your wastes! I'm a waste picker! Waste picker!
Hearing this, Jasmine threw the old lamp in the house to the salesman through the window. But this salesman was the evil man who left Aladdin in the well. As soon as he took the lamp, he stroked it and asked the genie to carry the palace far away with the princess. The genie did what the man wanted. When Aladdin returned, he saw that the palace and the princess were not in their place.
My princess! My palace! Where did they disappear? Where are you?
Aladdin thought of the ring he found in the well. He immediately put the ring on his finger. And at that moment, the surrounding was covered with lights, and a giant appeared in the middle.
What is your request from me? You only have 2 wishes left.
Aladdin wished to go to Jasmine. The giant clapped his hands, and Aladdin found himself on a flying carpet.
The carpet will take you to Jasmine.
Indeed, the flying carpet took him to his palace in the middle of the desert. Aladdin got off the carpet and hid somewhere. And he saw that Jasmine was serving the bad guy, and the lamp was in the man's lap. Aladdin put the ring on his finger again and made his last wish.
I want you to turn this villain into a bird, giant.
The giant fulfilled this wish, and the man immediately turned into a bird. Aladdin rushed to Jasmine right away and hugged her. Aladdin took the old lamp in his hand and stroked it, and asked the genie to move the palace to the old place.
Of course, my lord!
The palace returned to its former place by flying in the sky. While Aladdin and Jasmine were dancing, thinking that their happiness would last forever, the lamp fell on the ground. They were not yet aware that the genie had slipped away from the cracked edge of the lamp.